All right, we're just going to review solving equations really quickly. Don't forget about PEMDAS, right? Parentheses, exponents, multiplication and division, which go together, and addition and subtraction, which also goes together. So if we have an equation, for example, 2x minus 5 plus 7 is equal to 3x minus 1, right? The first thing we want to do here is distribute through the parentheses, right? So we have this 2 that's right here, right? This 2 right here. We're going to want to distribute that through the parentheses. So let me just use a little pink one here to represent the distribution. Now, remember, this is multiplication right here. So we have 2x, because that's just how you multiply 2 times x is like that, minus 10, because 2 times 5 is 10, plus 7 is equal to 3x minus 1. And then when you have things that are on the same side of the equation, you're going to use PEMDAS, right? So here we have the negative 10 and the 7. We're going to combine those like terms. They're on the same side of the equal sign, right? They're both on the left. So you just combine them. You do not use inverse operations. That is just going to give us then 2x minus 3, because negative 10 plus 7 is negative 3, is equal to 3x minus 1. Now, we do not have any like terms that are on the same side of the equal sign. Instead, our like terms are on opposite sides of the equal sign, right? We have the 2x over here and then a 3x over there. We have a negative 3 here and a negative 1 there, but they're not on the same side of the equal sign. So we have to use inverse operations here. Inverse operations means in order to get the 3 over with that negative 1, we have to use the opposite. So this was minus 3. Adding a plus 3 now creates 0 there, which is the idea. Let me go ahead and draw a little dividing line right there. So then we'd have 2x is the only thing left, because see, that's 0, is equal to 3x plus 2, because negative 1 plus 3 is positive 2. Then we're going to do inverse operations again using the x. Now, because we already moved the constant, the number without a variable, over to the right, we should move the number with a variable over to the left. You don't really want to have it equal to 0 in this case, because then you're going to have to move something over in order to solve. So we will subtract 3x on both sides. And again, the idea here is that you are getting 0, right? 3x minus 3x is 0. So then over here, we're getting negative 1x, but you don't need the 1, because if there's no number, we assume that it's 1 as the coefficient. So we get negative x is equal to 2. Now this is actually not solved yet, because we have the negative sign and we do not want a negative sign. So we're going to divide by negative 1. The idea here is that this is 1, right? Negative 1 divided by negative 1 is just 1. So that whole thing cancels out. We just get x over on the left. And here, all dividing by a negative 1 does is it changes the sign, so that becomes negative 2. So that is our little review of solving equations. So distribute through your parentheses. Make sure to combine like terms if they're on the same side of the equal sign, but to use inverse operations if they're on the opposite side of the equal sign. And that is it. If you have questions, please ask.